Welcome to my special edition, just a special sacred conversation that I want to engage you all in with my new friend, Jessie Klaus. She is, I'm going to say that she first of all, CA is in California. I've got a lot of homies and besties that I grew up in the beauty industry in California, and out of all of us that took hits and continue to take hits, our beloveds in California, they have been on a ride that's you can't even put it into words. At any rate, Jessie's not only a survivor in that and really figured out what she needed to do to take care of herself and her family, but now she is on this quest. It's almost like a calling, a ministry to get out. She's a Jedi, indeed. If you Google passion, you'll probably get a link to her life, because she just absolutely loves the industry. She loves hairdressers, and she's out helping hairdressers to find available money to get us through the other side of this thing so that we can not only survive it, but thrive it. She is part of the Tribez Salon and Spa community. There's actually two of those in the area of Northern Cal, Danville and Black Hawk. She, in addition to that, she's got a lot of stuff going on in her life. She's a global creative director for City of Angels Hair Extension. She's also, in addition to being a hairstylist, she is a beauty advocate. She's a career guru, and as you can see, she's very involved with a lot of volunteer work for Beauty Federation and finding, I'm going to call it fuel, to help hairdressers navigate the predictably unpredictable environment that we're calling COVID. Behind the chair, she's really earned the right. So she is a hair Jedi pre-COVID in a 5-day work week, $250,000 a year in income. That tells you that she's very much in the game. It's interesting, in 2020 last year, with 3 days behind the chair, being closed 9 months, and when you did open up, you opened up at 25% capacity. I was able to generate $140,000 in services with her clients. So you can see that she is going to forget more about building business behind the chair than a lot of people. She's going to tell you about her story. So I don't want to take anything away from that, but you can follow the timeline, when she graduates from high school and hairdresser college on the front end of the millennium. Her, first place, Phoenix Salon and Day Spa. Adorabella, owner-operator, I'm going to let her talk to you about that. When she begins her quest in Bumble and Bumble, when she begins to on-ramp, one of my favorite companies, L'Oreal, PPD. She also, when she starts with the Tribez venture in 2013, fast forward to 2018, she's got a lot of cool stuff going on with global creative director and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then, COVID. So she's going to talk to you about that. If you're not following her on Instagram, there's 3 places that she hangs out. I follow her very closely on her Jessie_does_hair. She got a community of 33,500 of us hang out with her there. So you can see she's the bomb. She's also now, I really want you to make sure that if you're not following Beauty Federation, that you do that. She'll talk about that, because that's the fuel, if you will, the financial fuel that she's helping hairdressers to access and be less intimidated to take advantage of that. And then she's got another page that she hangs out on it all as well, called it's called the Style Lux Pro. So at any rate, the 2 biggies is I love her _does_hair, Jessie_does_hair, and her Pro Beauty. So what we're going to do is, she's in my guest house in my green room. I'm going to bring her out, get her talking about her story so that you can see she's one of us, and then talking about this extraordinary resource that she's got cooking with Beauty Fed.
Hi, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well or okay at these times. We know it's been tough. Thank you for having me on. I love to see what you're up to, and I love all the stories that you put out there. And thank you for letting me be a part of this. Means a lot to my heart. So,
Oh, well,
thank
thanks for coming. We just kind of got to know each other 2, 3 weeks ago when I'd been hanging out on Clubhouse, but then we finally got to meet in a couple of rooms, and the rest is history. And that's why I invited you to be here. As I got to know your message, I said, I'd love to bring you to my community. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come hang out with me.
anytime.
Well, we always like to start with the story because the story tells us that you're one of us, and your story is nothing short of extraordinary. So, for my friends in my community that don't know who you are, who are you, and how did inspire you to get into the business? Kind of catch us up to where you've been and where you're at now.
So my aunt was a OG hairstylist, had owned a couple of salons, and was a real artist in terms of upstyling work. As a kid, I remember watching her, and like after Christmas dinner, I'd offer people an updo at the dinner table, like everybody's full and sitting here with great hair, let me play with it. So as a child, I started to just fall in love with her industry, and I've tried to picture myself in other positions in life, and there's just nothing quite the same for me as hair. And it's the fabric of my life that I've chosen, and something that has inspired me every day since the day that I was 6 years old, maybe even 11 when I started playing with real hair. I started in, I've been a hairdresser for about 20 years. I was licensed in 2001, and I have been studying hair ever since. So I've traveled far and wide to learn tips and tricks and business techniques. I had started a little bit of college business school. My dad had asked me to continue after I had gotten my cosmetology license since I was still in high school. And I went for about a year and a half and was failing miserably because it wasn't my hair business. So I asked if I could leave, and I started working with an amazing team in Walnut Creek, California, Phoenix Salon and Day Spa, where I was introduced to the finer things in life in this business. And ever since then, I've been a diehard fan. So I have worked kind of all over the place. I started out specializing as a color specialist, so I kind of learned my career a little backwards. I didn't do it all at first. I kind of each 5 years took on a new trade, if you will. So starting as a color specialist and then learning how to cut hair. I had opened up my own salon in about 2005, Adorabella Salon. And at that salon is where things pivotally changed for me as a business owner and hairstylist. I had done the business training there at BBU. I had met Michael Gordon before he retired, had a cup of tea with him in his cafe, and it just blew my mind. Everything that they were doing in New York, from business to hairdresser to marrying it all together to make you the best that you could be. And this is when I met my first hair homies that I fell in love with. I just knew, we were all new, but you just knew who these people were in this room and what were they going to turn out to be. They had that star quality about them. And so I followed them everywhere they went. They were with Bumble for years, and now they are with Orbe. And I've worked pretty closely with those stylists and watched them grow. I left my business in 2009 and went up the street to 4062 because at the time I was really young and felt as though there was some more things I needed to do in order to expand. So it was a 10-chair salon, and I wanted bigger and more. And so I needed to figure out where I could find that or grow a little more before I could continue owning a business. So I went up the road to 4062 Salon, where I was their educator, and I taught color with L'Oreal and to their staff. Every Mondays we had class, so I ran their education, and it eventually changed ownership to Trebez Salon. So I'm still at that location. I didn't just start in 2013, but that's when Trebez took over, and I've continued to be their artistic director and director of education, and just love them all to death. They're my team. I don't actually want to own my own salon. I want to be with this team and invest my energy, time, and money into Trebez Salon. I get along with the owner well. She is one of my best friends, and I ask her for advice all the time, as well as Nicole. And those two women have been a strong powerhouse for me of advice and information. And recently, with COVID, I lost a house in 2008, and my life savings, it was my first home. I've been through things where this wasn't my first loss to COVID. So those things I went through and I survived, and it was somehow, I didn't get money back necessarily, but I got out without a scratch, and I'm good at getting out without a scratch, selling my salon, short selling my home, and moving forward to pick up those pieces again. And I had picked up all my pieces, and my 10-year plan was at 9 years and 364 days before COVID hit. And a lot of things were happening for me. A lot of things were happening for my friends, and our world, came to a halt. I'm a mom of 2 amazing kids. I'm head of household. My husband's been super helpful with school. We're all in this crazy situation. I'm not a natural first and second grade teacher. However, I adore my babies more than anything. Art class, I teach them, the color wheel, and my husband does the rest of the stuff. And figuring out a place for all of us. How do I save this situation? How do I save the income lost? How do I save my friends that finally made it to their dream career, that now they've been locked out of traveling, and corporate won't take them anywhere, because until the world is vaccinated, our dreams are on pause. So I started searching for answers, and searching and searching and searching. Nobody had answers. Across the country, we're all in this place. If California has been shut for a long time, other places in the country have bad weather, COVID or not, we're all kind of screwed in a sense. So I took it upon myself to learn a little bit about what Congress had passed for us and what they're doing for us. And I met a lawyer named Fred Jones, and he is with the Pro Beauty Federation, and he had some answers. And I wanted to shed some light on all of the work that he's been doing for our industry. And at the time, the PBFC didn't have a lot of following, so I took it upon myself to, take over their Instagram and manage it and help push this word out of what's going on, what's happening, and a place for us, maybe once and for all, to, fight for the big guys, the small guys, all the guys. So it's a community, and we are growing every day, and we've been able to help so many people. We got $25 million pre-approved through Congress to put into the beauty industry, knowing that we'd been all hurt so badly, not just California. And then we now have another $100 million in the pipeline of processing approved applications. So far we've gotten $125 million out there, and we are just over the moon for, they have extended the date, and they are going to extend it till hopefully June 30th is what we're told. And that means that there's a lot more out there for people that haven't applied yet. So I really have just been trying to share this message with as many of you as possible. So there's finally some answers and some help.
Well, yeah, and as I've gotten to know you, Jessie, that the biggie was that as COVID kind of pulled the rug out from all of us unexpected, like it came at us at point blank. We're face down in the mud with arrows on our back before we knew what hit us. But if you're in California, take that and multiply that times, like 100. And but you said to me, I think, that you were able to access money where there were 2 influxes of cash money that came, that if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be here. Talk about that part.
So the PPP loans, the payroll protection program, it's 2.5 months worth of income. So you can get it not once, but twice. So for me, I had received my first round, and I was like in shock, and it was $20,000. And I was given, I think 8 weeks later, I was given this piece of paper that said, just sign it and you'll be forgiven for all the amount. They sent it back to the SBA, and I received another letter that I didn't have to show proof or anything. I was forgiven, and I had $20,000 back in my savings account, basically, from those months lost. I was told by the lawyer that I could apply for the second round, and that was even kind of more shocking. And Congress had passed a law that we could apply for gross income, not net income. The application still says, until they can update these laws in our system, what is line 31 net income. From now on, we're only supposed to answer gross. I had received 26,000 the next check, so it was a little bit more. And again, they are going to forgive it and not have me pay it back. And I've been able to literally pretend COVID hasn't happened and readdress my new system, my new 10-year dream, or my new life. It has been recovered. So I'm very grateful that I had 5 months worth of income handed back to me to start over again or rethink what's going to be next.
Well, and I mean, which is that in and of itself is astounding. And then as you and I were chatting, and I began inquiring, so like, did everybody gain access to this? And what I got from you is, Michael, the good news is the resource is there. The all bets off is if there's an Academy Award for the most uninformed, best kept secret, misinformed resource to help hairdressers to stabilize and become recovery, this conversation would be the award winner hands down. That you were giving me a couple of stats about the number of hairdressers that have been able to, that have taken advantage of it versus those that haven't yet.
I can give you an example of our salon. So we have, 20 stylists in Blackhawk and probably 26 stylists downtown. And so our owner had received $90,000 for one building, $108 for another. Each stylist within our building, like myself, getting $46,000, and her other staff members getting anywhere from, even assistants had received $1,300 twice. So there's some senior stylists that also have gotten probably $40,000 or maybe $15,000 twice. So now she's getting $6,000 in rent checks. She's getting, us all prepaying her. We're ordering tons of retail. We're ordering, our business is back. Business is booming and doing well because of the PPP loan. So it has been able to save a lot of us. And yeah, I mean, the resources are there, $284 billion, and we've only received 125 million of it through the industry. That's what we're seeing. So that's, we can do.
Right. Now, it's interesting as you were chatting. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So while we were chatting, a comment came in on my message board that said, our salon has tried 7 times for PPP and has been denied all 7. I would love to turn Jennifer, her name is Jennifer Crawford, over and have her DM you Instagram, and you pick it up from there, because you've been the guardian angel. You're helping people navigate the landscape. When you're doing business with the federal government, all it takes is one loose end to not be tied down. Do not pass goal. Do not collect the 200. Start over. And that's really what you're showing up and helping people to navigate that.
Yeah. So what we've also found is we have asked some, influencers, beauty influencers, to help us share this message, and we've helped them qualify. And what people found is maybe they were more comfortable talking to me versus the lawyer or through the PBFC. So we have had a lot of people call me, and we're happy to help you, Jennifer, walk through the process. There could be too many pending applications since you've applied 7 times. The information could be entered in backwards from 2020 to 2019, which will not show a 25% loss. We've had, major people have an 18% loss when they stuck gross income instead of net. It then was 25% of a loss. And I'm trying to think of some other tips and tricks, but definitely anyone that's having a problem, I'm here for this. I'm here for you. I will help you walk through the paperwork. I filled out paperwork for other people. We are here to help you in this community. So please DM me, DM PBFC. We've got lawyers, CPAs, well-known ones that are here to address any issue for free. We are here for free to help you.
Yeah, so I would say, as somebody that has walked through this twice now with in my own company, my wife is my business partner, an accountant. I have an appreciation for we'll call it the obstacle course. And and I didn't know what I was doing, nor did my wife, and we needed somebody like you to navigate, guide us through, because like you said, there's a vocabulary, there's a process. And so somebody like you would be nothing short of invaluable for people that aren't taking advantage of it yet.
Yeah, I mean, what we are feeling is that people are still afraid because of the word loan. It says loan, which is 1%. But, if you need to buy a new car with it, there's little tips and tricks. So what we're telling people to do is get your money and write a check to yourself. at least 60% and write payroll in the memo, and then transfer that to your business or from your business account to your savings account or to a different account. That part, they just want to make sure for individual people like myself, they're not requiring a lot of documentation, but salon owners of 10, they do want to know that you paid your people, or use the money for utilities, back rent, things like that. There's just so many things going on in our industry. We've got landlords that are threatening really famous celebrity hairdressers. They want their money. They want it now for back rent, get a PPP loan. It doesn't matter. Pay us with your PPP loan. Well, at the first round, people were being misapproved, like they shouldn't have been approved, or they were denied wrongfully. And there was $130 billion left over. So the first round we didn't see get distributed evenly enough or even talked about to where people just still are afraid of it. And so we're here to take the fear out of it. Biz2 Credit, Nadeso Capital, and the PBFC have created a very easy application process. What we also are noticing is that we're inundated. Our system is inundated because there's no one else that's helping. The banks aren't necessarily helping just yet, or even some CPAs have wrong information. So we're trying to help as fast as we can, as much as we can. And the 1% loan, what we are told also is that EDD money you can collect PPP1 and PPP2, but they want to make sure that you're re-stimulating our industry. So they want you to spend your money on your rent, your utilities, your payroll. But an easy way to avoid you spending that is to transfer it into a different account. So everything's traceable.
And it just sounds like, as I'm listening to you, you're not just helping people, guiding people to getting the money, but then you're guiding them as to how to, the paper trail, the process, so that when you spend it, it's forgiven. So the idea that, oh my God, if I get this money and it's a loan, and all of a sudden now I'm in debt, and you're saying, no, we'll guide you in this community through Professional Beauty Fed, that you'll help them to do that.
We will help you spend the money appropriately. We've had people open up a business account that just says PPP on it. And what they do is they draft out, 60% of it to their other account or to their business account. And so as long as they're seeing that transaction happen, but again, I've already been forgiven and I didn't have to show any paperwork or any paper trail. But if I'm audited in the next 7 years is when they want me to save that paperwork. So it didn't need to go to Biz2 Credit. It just needs to be in my, box underneath my.
Right. It's interesting that, you're kind of blowing up my board with questions now. One of them is saying that the owner, that the owner isn't in this conversation. She is, and she's saying is definitely in need because she's close to closing due to the back rent. So you're able to help navigate that. And then somebody else inquired, I am an independent stylist. Is this something that,
Too.
Yeah, so you're saying whether you're self-employed, you're employed, you're an employer, you're an employee, that this is a conversation that you want to be in if you're looking for fuel, and who isn't, to help to minimize it. It's difficult enough. So this will help get people through it less scathed.
For me, having 5 months of income really changes the whole picture for me. I had a really lovely time with my children and being at home and being a part of their lives every day instead of, Christmas, we're used to working 14-hour days, 16-hour days, 5 days a week. Where's mommy? Where's mommy? Where's mommy? So, to have this money, it really tells me it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay if we can just make sure that no one is left behind. So tell all your friends. Call me, email me, DM me, whatever. We really are just, this is a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Who knows if we're going to have another pandemic? I feel like this was as bad as it was and not bad as it was. This is the first PG-13 pandemic that I can think of. And so we need this money back, and we need to prepare for a better future. And how, you've had some episodes on that taught salons how to build a bank account or how to build a savings account. So take this money and do those things so that we can replenish and rebuild and start and have a stronger future for these types of emergencies. So, there's so many things in our lives that have happened, and COVID.
Well, there's two things I want to say that as you and I were getting to know each other, and I was inquiring, kind of doing some due diligence on you that I knew in my soul that this was the real deal. This is not a smoke and mirrors, what is it, bait and hook. And I said to you probably 5 minutes into the conversation. So Jessie, talk to me about like how are you, like how much money are you making on this? And you said to me, zero, that your soul is into this. This is a calling to see, because what it was like to be brought to that place. So that's number one. Number two, I want to say that it's a best kept secret, and Beauty Federation, I hope I'm saying that right, that I didn't even know existed until this. I mean, I know that there's other associations. If they're doing something about this, I haven't heard about it. So and I'm pretty hooked up. I mean, I kind of fly at 30,000 and I see what's going on. I don't know of an association, a group, an individual, a community that's advocating it to this degree and helping people to the degree that you're helping them. So I want people to know that as I'm listening and looking, after you, the earth starts dropping off. And this is too much of a needed resource to not have more hairdressers gain access. I think you said to me, we got 15-20% of the community that know about it, never mind taking advantage of it. We've got to get this word out.
Right. So maybe 200,000 of 1.5 million cosmetologists or beauty industry professionals, from tattoo artists, estheticians, hairstylists, all of these people, we don't have enough power getting out there, I guess, to spread this word. And not everyone's doing what we have done. So a lot of people went to Congress to fight for this money, but not everyone's helping the people get this money. So that's where we step in. We've created an app with the Biz2 Credit and Adesso Capital that is very beautician friendly and beauty industry friendly. It's 4 pages long. It's pretty easy stuff. It's only 3 things that are needed. 2018 or 2019 Schedule C. And we've seen a couple people apply with just their 1099s and not their actual Schedule C. And it's worked for some, but not for all. We've seen people apply with you just need an ID, whatever state you're from. This is across the US, not just California. And then you would need 6 months bank statements. And we're saying from January to June of 2020, because that's where it shows the most loss within those 3 months. What we found is across the country, people lost 25% in those 3 months. So most of us are qualified for it because internationally, we were actually scared. So it did actually lock us down for about 3 months. So that's where this money is kind of available to everyone, because we see no matter what industry you're in, all of us have kind of lost 25%. So some people have lost 46%. The numbers are so different.
Right,
and
right. Somebody asked a question, would you qualify if you got or are getting, and she said PUA unemployment. Do you know anything about that?
So I'm assuming it's kind of like California would be EDD. I'm assuming the PUA, if it's an unemployment but for a different state, that you're allowed to collect all of it. So all they ask is that the day that you get your PPP 1, that you place a pause on your EDD or your PUA money, and then when you transfer the funds from your bank account, then you can reactivate your claim. So if you're still not working and still need funds.
Wow. So yeah, you just gave one more profound example of how you can gain from both resources, but there's a protocol. If you follow the protocol, you don't worry about throwing the baby out with the damn bathwater. Hook up to Jessie and she'll help you to navigate that.
Yeah, I'll get your life back. It's time. We're ready. We're ready for it.
All right. Well, listen, I told you that we wouldn't go past a half hour, and we have. So promise me 2 things. One, to come back to my community on Facebook Live. Because this thing is not done. We're in COVID. There's going to be the aftermath of COVID, and then post-COVID. I have a feeling you're not going away anytime soon. I want to keep you to be a big blip on my radar. That'd be number one. And number two, I want my community to know that you and I are continuing to have this conversation on a new platform. Relatively speaking, it's new, and that is Clubhouse. That's where I met you. So, find out what Clubhouse is. Scroll down on my page, download the damn app, get signed up, get hooked up, so that you can stay part of that. That community, I think, is frankly more informed because of you than Instagram or Facebook communities.
It's been great on Clubhouse. I keep getting pinged to invite to share this information, and then I get moved back down to the audience. So it's kind of cool. Everybody knows what's going on now to kind of help keep giving me these leverages to speak. And, we noticed too, a lot of our beauty industry leaders are falling apart because they too in California were out for so long. How are we going to survive and feel motivated when we see them also fall apart? So that's also how this started and how they were also able to help us get this message out. There's lots of celebrities on our page that have put their faces in blue to support the cause. So we are not done. This is not over. You guys will all hear from me. We've been cold calling salons across the country, my assistants, my coworkers, as much as we can. And we have someone for everyone, no matter what situation you're in. Owner, do you take a draw? Are you an owner of a beauty company? Big and small. It's $284 billion. So let's get more of this. My goal is to hopefully get $1 billion for our industry.
Yeah. My partner, Randy Kunkel, just said, wow, tons of hope and courage to stay in our profession. And then Nicole Pisani is actually posting links on this as we speak, so that people can get plugged in. So I'm hoping that we were able to pour some nitroglycerin on your bonfire, Jessie.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
We're going to give it up for Jessie one more time, and you're going to stay close to her. Jessie, you and I will be chatting some more on Clubhouse, so stay well, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I hope you guys heard that. Do me a favor, will you? If you could be so kind if you were served by this, and you know me, I've been doing interviews now on Facebook Live since 2015 when Facebook launched Facebook Live. Get this out. Share this with anybody that you know in the salon that would benefit from this, or somebody that knows somebody else that would benefit. The .com is www.federationplans.com/PPP. Follow, get on Jessie's Instagram, which is Jessie_does_hair, or you can even find her on Professional Beauty Federation as well. But I would suggest that you allow her to be your seeing eye guide, your guardian angel, because she will continue. She's probably not, she's a 5th degree Jedi at knowing, the obstacle course in, the bureaucracy. So, but I think what you're going to get in fuel, in money, is really going to warrant whatever rigor and effort that you're going to put into it. So keep the faith and make that happen. So we're going to give it up for Jessie one more time. If you're new to my conversation, you're on Michael Cole Summit Facebook, and we do this frequently. I'm now on Clubhouse, and these are all the rest of my handles. If you put either Michael Cole Summit or Michael Cole Next, even Google one of those two, and you will get all of the places on the internet that I hang out. And if you get to me or DM me, I'll get you to her. So it's all good. Wonderful conversation. I know you got a lot going on today. Nicole, thanks for jumping on with us today. And I'll talk to you all soon. Come hang out with me on Clubhouse, because it's the latest, greatest. I think it is the next thing. Michael Cool Next is in Clubhouse because it's a like talk radio or real-time podcasting. And I was just on one this afternoon with Mary Rector, BehindTheChair.com, and yesterday I was with Robert Crumans and Randy Kunkel and Sam Bricado, and it goes on and on and on. And wow, what a platform to plug into to get inspired, to get vision, to get motivated. It's just, and it's all for free. So it's all good. And Jessie is on now watching us all saying, love you so much. Thank you. Love you too, dear. And we'll see you guys later.